Love being the only one here. Good morning. Oh, it's a good morning. I just realized the shirt that I'm actually wearing. That's funny. That's funny. Good morning. Morning, Paige. Good morning. Oh, there's the dinghy on my phone saying we're live. Good morning. Just waiting. Just giving this some time. Just seeing who's all hanging out this morning. Good morning, Wallace. Morning, Joe. Good. That's what I was gonna do. Hold on. I knew I was gonna do something. Do 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 do. Scooby doo 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 doo. Scooby doo doo doo. Scooby doo doo doo. Scooby doo doo doo. I forgot what I was gonna do. There we go. We're just hanging out for a minute or two, waiting for people to show up. We're saying good morning to each other. Good morning, good morning. Do do do. Skibby do skidoo. Ba-da-ba. Ba-da-da. I feel like this is timely. I feel like we're gonna have a great show today, but I feel like, and I don't know how the song, I'm gonna break, I feel like I should know how this song goes, and I don't. And all apologies to the Waz, and all apologies to anybody that knows how the song goes once you hear, but I feel like, look, I don't like to get political, okay? But we all heard Friday what happened, okay? We all heard Friday as we were all exuberant about the weird little Parisian Olympics opening ceremony. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed all of it. I enjoyed the artistic flairity of it. Even the, like, why did they kick us out of the room and lock the door? Like, that was kind of a weird little, oh, Paris, okay. Alright, you wackadoos. Alright, like, that was, you didn't need to, that was kind of, that was, you didn't need to do that. That was an odd little part of things. That's not the Olympics, is it? But I enjoyed all of it. The whole thing, like the horse riding and the galloping, like Celine Dion, like dealing with her uh, syndrome, rocking out underneath the Eiffel Tower. Like I'm realizing like why they filmed her at the Eiffel. She couldn't like deal with like all the super noise, because like I guess like it activated her syndrome, like stiff person syndrome, like causes like immense pain, and she like gets like oversensitized, you know what I mean, sensated, sensed, sensitive, you know what I'm saying, overstimulated. There we go. And so they kind of like let her sing and like rock out in front of a camera underneath the Eiffel Tower and the rings. Like that's a lot of sensation going on, stimulation going on, already, right? So good on her for like rocking out. Well, that's not what we're talking about, okay? Oh, I mean, we're gonna talk. That's not true. I have now watched 8 hours of surfing this year. 8 hours. I watched maybe 9 waves in 1 hour, I think, at one time. and I remember watching those waves, going, no, you should ride that one, get that one, grab the lip, get in, ride the barrel, let the barrel happen, and then you ride. Don't let the spit happen before you can escape. You gotta disappear into the barrel. You gotta grab the lip. Are you goofy or are you ready? I'm talking as if I've ever been on a surfboard in my entire life. And I'm like, you know what, man? That's a 5-point wave right there. And it turns out it's about the judges scored it about a 7-point wave. So I'm way off, right? I'm like, well, okay, well, all right, let's wait for the next one, right? And then they're like, and then you get scores for waves that you don't complete. So that's cool. I mean, you kind of need to, because you're only gonna probably get maybe for one bout in the heats. The second round heats where it's 1-on-1, which is really kind of cool because you could priority your way into I got the lead and I can't. The other guy, I'm just gonna mess him up, and if he sees a really cool wave, I get that wave first, and I'm gonna try and launch. And I'm just a mess because he can't launch if I launch. Because if he launches, he gets a penalty, and whatever the hell the penalty is, and because nobody did it right, but you saw one guy, Ishinaga from Japan, man, what a freaking wow! I don't know, he made it. It was great. It's all right. It was so I don't know. I like surfing. So I watched 8 hours of surfing. So we got that to talk about. We're in it to win it, okay? What I'm talking about is this. Okay? This is what I'm talking. The news that you live long enough to become the villain. Alright? Christian Bale and Batman, I don't know how they know it's true, but here we go. I am Iron Man. God, what? There you are. Iron Man, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. He's there. Friday, we're all like, yeah, all right. You're supposed to be dead. Endgames, you sacrificed yourself. I love you 3,000. You know, you held me while I disappeared, and then I came back into life for you. You're Iron Man. Yeah, there you are. You know, some of us are like, hey, isn't that Sherlock Holmes? Yeah, it's Sherlock. Shut up. All right. The other one, isn't that the guy from Heavier Than Air, whatever that one movie is back in the 80s, where he just kind of is a burnout, and then isn't that kind of everything he did in the 90s? He was just kind of a burnout, and then isn't that kind of the guy that was always in prison for didn't he snort a lot of drugs up? Isn't that Robert Downey? Didn't he do Tropic Thunder? Wasn't he? Isn't that Iron Man, right? Has he lost his mind? Can he see, or is he blind? Can he walk at all, or if he moves, will he fall? Is he alive or dead? Has he thoughts within his head? We'll just pass him there. Why should we even care? Has he turned to steel? In the great magnetic field, when he traveled time for the future of mankind. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Dr. What the fuck? What are you talking about? Who? Nobody wants him. He just stares at the world, planning his vengeance that he will soon unfurl. Instrumental break. Now the time is here for Iron Man to spread fear. Vengeance from the grave kills the people he once saved. Oh, Iron Man is not dead. Iron Man is Iron Man! Dressed up in a green suit now. Dr. Doom. Nobody wants him. They just turn their heads. Nobody helps him. Now he has his revenge. Oh, I see it. Oh, Friday, I felt it. The death in my heart when Iron Man was no longer still dead. Kind of. But is he? I didn't know. I honestly tell you, I'm reading the song right now and it makes sense that Iron Man would become Doctor Doom a little bit, right? Doesn't it just, because of the song Iron Man, you know, that came out way before Robert Downey Jr. probably did anything up his, I don't know, like, nobody actually listened to the song. So if you actually listen to it, you're like, wait a minute, Iron Man's kind of what an ass guitar solo, right? Heavy boots of lead. Yeah. Maybe we jazz it up a little bit. Put a little bit of swing in it. Yeah. Heavy boots of lead. Fills his victims full of dread. Running as fast as they can. Iron Man lives again. Instrumental outro. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Doom is alive and well. He is Robert Downey Jr. Who is Robert Downey Jr.? Is it Tony Stark? Is it Victor Doom? I don't know. But I get it. I knew that we needed to talk about that real quick. I had to clear the air about that. Okay? I also needed to do a little Black Sabbath song. It was Iron Man. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I made all of that up on my eye. If you can tell. Boy, oh boy. So we got a big day. Let's have some fun. We've got the Olympics. The Olympics happened. I really did watch like 8 hours of surfing, and I think I got the name right. Yoshinaga from Japan. That dude's amazing. And then I don't have the names right, but the surfing, the lady surfers, they blow some stuff. Wow, they're really good. Like awesome too. So I watched a lot of surfing. They kept threatening to show badminton, and I think I can go back and watch the replays on badminton. But like, what a crazy. Pops, I think that's Pops' favorite sport. He'll probably talk about it a little bit. So I don't want to get too much into like into the weeds or like the details of the actual sports, because like all of those sports made me remember. Like, do you remember back in? You remember? Are you old enough? Some of you might be. I don't know. Track and field, or maybe did they have? I think they actually had like an Olympics game for the Nintendo. Do we even? By the way, good morning, everyone. I don't know if I said good morning to anybody. Good morning, good morning to everybody. Good morning, Cleany. Good morning, to Joe. Good morning, Herbie. With the blue wrench. Good morning to Cleany. Good morning, Laura. Good morning. We'll do the huggy. We'll do the Laura later. Good morning. Good morning, Niffer. Good morning to Mike Barba. Good morning to. Let's see. Who else is? Good morning to. Was it? The cat. Who? You played. You played it on the original, right? It was the original Nintendo. Joe. Herbie, absolutely, I'll teach you how to huggle. We'll get you. We'll get you. Good morning to Pacers. Good morning to everybody. Good morning to Shine. Good morning to everybody here. It's good morning. CCS is going on. Good CCS keeps. I swear, he sends me every morning. He sends me reels. And I don't like reacting to things because I'm like, I don't know what that means. Because he might think, like, try and send me more. And he does. Because, like, every time. So I gotta, like. But I don't want to. I don't know. We have a weird relationship. CC. And I think it's called a relationship. And that's what's even weirder about it. Also, you're going to hear the weird word. And I don't want that. I wish they wouldn't have. I wish that weird word hadn't been kind of like a pro. I don't know. I kind of like that word. You know, creepy. You could have creep. Could you use creep? I don't know. Weird's good. Weird's are. Don't think weird's bad. I don't know why they're using weird. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying not to say it, but you know what I'm saying. Don't say it. I don't know. Get weird. So I was thinking about that game, and I remember growing up, because I grew up, you know, with the Nintendo. Like, and the Olympics and the track and field, like, they had the pad, where you plug the pad in, and then, like, you had to run, and then jump, and then you can run again. You know, people were recording, like, they were getting jumped to, like, 17 feet, you know? And it's just absolutely wild. Normal is born. And I didn't know you could do that! Someone said you could hit it with your hands. I didn't know that as a kid. I didn't know that. You know, I'm like, what? You know, I didn't know. What do you mean you can cheat? What? Hit it with your hands? First off, with my hands, that's even jokier. I'm trying not to, like, you know, because what I was told by people is don't run, we don't want to run on it. You're too young to run on it because, like, you might break it. So you gotta be old enough to realize how to run on it correctly, and then I'm like, okay, sure. Dumbass kid I am. I don't realize that the older you get, the heavier you get. I mean, you are. You get heavy. Like, your bones, the muscles, everything. Like, life, you know. If a kid has a heavy life, man, give him a popsicle. I'm just saying, like, goodness. But, like, or let him run on the Nintendo pad, you know? I'm just, like, help him out a little bit, you know? I was fine. I grew up, normal, weird, whatever, right? So but I could never play on, I was never allowed. The closest I ever got was the Stoner Olympics one, where you could do oh my god, the hacky sack one, right? And then the BMXer one, where you could, like, twirl around and like, jump off of a thing and try not to hit the cactus. But not the Excite Bike. Excite Bike was fun. I loved Excite Bike. But, you know, like, beep. And you saw your character, like, the legs and the arms right here. And I have a weird, don't pick this character in the game. You're gonna lose. But, like, you know, you try and, boop, boop. You got the hacky sack coming off your head, just boop, and you get it with your shoulder, like boop, you know, and it, like, you got the double shoulder move where you got, like, boop, boop, you know, and then like, you right off the top, you boop, 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 you know, and you're like, all right, cool, and then as soon as it hit the ground, you're like, ah, I didn't know that that's when you were supposed to take another hit and just restart the game. I didn't know. I'm a kid. I was like, man, I suck at this game. Anyhow, I wasn't very athletic as a kid. I wasn't even allowed to run on the Nintendo pad. I couldn't even qualify for Nintendo track and field. That's what I'm getting to. But I have played a lot of video games. And so I've got kind of I think we're going to run, we'll see how this works. I don't know. We'll see. It's kind of a way for me to get to talk to you guys and get you guys to interact. And because I feel like I've kind of been ignoring you guys. I don't want that I want to get back into this. And I feel like the only way that we can do this is let's just show off how big of lazy nerds we all grew up to be. And if you haven't played some of these games I actually haven't played, but they're all part of the shtick, and so you just gotta go with it. So I'm gonna present. So, and then, we'll see, we'll do this. I kind of want to do my own little tournament of video games. If we can do that. Old school video, we got some new school, but mostly old school, Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation kind of gamies. If that makes sense, if that's... Give me some emotes or whatnot for that one if you guys are in for that. If not, we can get into the book. That's kind of what I want to do. I kind of want to do that. So... Phone keeps ring-a-dinging. You like to go to Atari? I almost went to Atari, someone said. Gauntlet. Shut up, Waz. You're going to make me, write even more songs. More, let's just do this. Alright, we got this. Alright, it's the lag, it's out here. We might even have to do, a reconnect eventually. Mondays, right? They are what they are, right? They are what they are. So, I have on one side, and then we've got another side, but on one side, 2 categories, right? First category, and it's 3 video games in each category, and we'll pick the winner of each category, or each whatever, right? So we've got 3. We'll pick the one best out of those 3, right? And then we've got 3 more down here. We'll pick the best out of those 3, which leaves us the 1 and 1. So we got 2 here, right? And so we go on to the other side, and we've got 3 here. We'll pick the best out of 3. We got 3 here. We'll pick the best out of 3. And then we've got 2. And then we'll pick the 2. And then we'll pick the 2. And then we'll pick the 2. And then we've got the 1. Did I flip you? I don't know. Chicken fingers, right? Chicken fingers. So, on one side of the gaming video game tournament, we have fighting games. My favorite fighting games. Okay? You guys are throwing amazing games at me that I forgot all about. Okay, so you're gonna, I know, 007 is probably the best game in the world. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, it's GoldenEye was, who didn't, if you didn't play GoldenEye, it's because you were never invited to a party. And if you were never invited to a party, I apologize. Okay? Even as an adult, if you have, 007, GoldenEye, you have a party just so you can invite people to come play it. You're you do. You just do. I don't have GoldenEye, so I haven't sent out the invitations. Okay? But Soul Calibur is a great game, right? Soul Calibur is on almost, it's like an alternate for the fighting. I loved Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur was one of those games where you almost had to only play it on the arcade. For me. And so that meant that, I couldn't always afford to enjoy Soul Calibur. Like I felt like it was just a better game, and unfortunately for my hands, like button mashing kind of was just like my wrists wouldn't allow. So I was a bit more of a button masher than I really wanted to be. Like I saw all the combos and everything, and I researched and I wanted to, but like just kids like I have to button mash a little bit. I couldn't quite get into the eccentric or the detail of all these massive fighting games. Like although these three I was actually pretty good at like in a solo way. But like people would I'll honestly tell you this, like I would play games. We had a system in college that the college that I went to, where like, if you're playing any of these games, any fighting game or whatnot, someone could just come up and challenge you. And then they would or like they would put a quarter up there and wait for you to finish your that whatever fight you're in, and then they would put the quarter in and they would take the next fight and they would come after you. And you're like, all right, whatever. Otherwise you're just playing the game, right? I knew that if I was the first one at the game, because I'll say I'm a bookcase, all right. I'm not a good person when I'm being a bad person. I knew that if I wanted to play the game by myself, all I had to do was be the first person up there. You don't want to beat the. Just let the kid have it. Look at him. He's doing his best. He pulled off a combo. Good for him. Look at him. Look at him. He's having fun. You don't want to make the kid cry a little bit, dude. Just let him have. Meanwhile, Ishinaga from Japan comes in and surfs up, and he's like, I guess I gotta dominate you, guy. Some guy like you'd have like the randomest like winners come up, randomest people that were really good at these games come up and just dominate, and like they would wait. They would wait and they would get you halfway. They would get you mid fight too. I'll get to it. We'll get through the whole thing, and I think we're F the book, right? We need to have a conversation about the book in a minute or two, and like in a day or two, in a show or two, whatever, right? Here we are. Well, anyhow, mid fight, the guy would start and he would dominate you, and you're like, oh god, all right, I guess I have to like try and play the game now and get back into my, And he was like, I guess I'm gonna just be better than you. And you're like, all right, and then you get in line. Here we are trying to beat this guy now. Anyhow, you remember who grew up with that? Here I am trying to interact with you guys, and I'm not interacting at all. Top 3 favorite fighting games. Category 1. So we got category 1, category 2, category 3, 4, and then. Top 3 favorite fighting games, and then we'll pick out of these 3. Obviously, we've got Street Fighter. My favorite fighter in Street Fighter was Baraka. Is that right? Baraka with the claws. Baraka. I like Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct was good, but that was Sega at the time. That like so kind of I don't know. Killer Instinct. I just didn't get into Killer Instinct or Altered Beast. They were neat games. Just didn't. I don't know. I looked at them as they were still not my thing. Street Fighter. Mortal Kombat. Kitana was my favorite fighter for Mortal Kombat. And then we've got Marvel versus Capcom, which kind of incorporates like a lot of like all the Marvel characters like Wolverine and Capcom characters like Akuna and such. So so we've got Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, or Marvel versus Capcom. So if you think it's Street Fighter should win, give me Street. If you think, unless it's Street Glide, Streety, you're not allowed to vote. If you're not allowed to vote for Street Fighter. You can only vote for one of the other 2 or remain. I'm just saying, just to keep it fair, okay? So if you think it's Street Fighter, put Street. If you think it's Mortal Kombat, put Mortal. If you think it's Marvel versus Capcom, give me MC. I don't want to piss off Marvel. I don't want anybody to like Beetlejuice Marvel into existence. So, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, or MC. Who's the number one game out of those three? We've got Mortal Kombat, Street. Oh boy, here we go. I'll try. I threw a fit till my dad bought. Joe D says till your dad bought Street Fighter 2. All right, so we got Street, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Mortal, Street Fighter, Mortal. In its time, it was Street, Mortal. Marvel vs. Capcom came out. It did. It came out way later. It came out super late. So it looks like Marvel vs. Capcom is out. So let's drop it down to Street Fighter vs. Mortal Kombat. Street Fighter vs. Mortal Kombat. We got Street Fighter vs. Mortal Kombat, and this is Category 1 fighting games. Fight. You know, I really love to fight. Every time, like, whenever I see someone about to go after someone, I'm like, fight, you know? Or the finish him, you know? Yeah, you know, who doesn't have a finishing move? You know, Mortal Kombat gave us finishing moves. You know, you're like, oh, wow, fatality. You know, oh, yeah, friendship. Oh, friendship? I love doing friendship moves. Where you're like, aw, you know, Johnny Cage gives him the autograph photo. You're like, oh yeah, I really love. Okay, I'm dying because of my internal injuries, and my soul has been ripped out of me because of the shadow kick. But at least I got, you know, the Johnny Cage autograph picture. Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat. Okay, let's get here. We've got Street the original. We've got, it's not Frogger. We'll get the it's not even Frogger. I love the opening. Yell of Mortal Kombat. And what's funny is, like, Derek, is every time you hear that, you're like, whether you want to think of it, it's not even in the game, I don't think. I think it's like another song. But you're like, oh yeah, Mortal Kombat. Alright, you know what? I think Mortal Kombat wins. Derek Anderson, I think you're right. I think the yell wins. Mortal Kombat wins. Category 1 fighting game. Nice job, folks. Nice job. This is what we got for the entire show. We're not doing... We'll talk about the... Mortal Kombat wins. Congratulations. Streety's like almost there. Street Fighter's almost there. It's like, Hadouken, right? Who didn't do that? Who didn't, like, you're at school, you're like, Hadouken at each other. And the teacher's like, these crazy kids are Hadouken each other, and what is the Hadouken? You know? Berserker Claw! You know, I did that in Dalsim, you know, with the Yoga Fire, you know, Yoga Kick, Yoga Punch, you know, or Chun-Li with the kick, you know. We didn't do the Chun-Li kick. I don't know. Street Fighter might have made a magical comeback. No other game made me show my leg off like that. I gotta go Street Fighter. You're right. It's Street Fighter. Chun-Li. I wanted to be Chun-Li when I grew up. Like, the way that she kicked those thighs. Oh my god. Yeah, you're right. It's Street Fighter. Okay. Weird. You're taking weird back. I'm taking weird back. Category number 2. Yeah. Category. Alright, let's just. Category number 2. Collecting games. These are games that I didn't really play that much. I'll be honest with you. So this is on you guys. Okay, this is top 3 that I can think of collecting games, collector games. Pokemon. I never played it. Not one game that I ever played. See? Jody said Pokemon. I never played Pokemon. Not even once. I said it before you did, Joe. And we're on a lag too, guy. Never. Not once, Joe. So we got Pokemon. And there's like, I don't know how many versions. There's like a silver version. There's a plaid version. There's an 8th level Zydeco version. There's a clear version. I didn't know, like, that's only if, like, you're an 8th level Zydeco, is when you're able to get the clear version of Pokemon. I don't know, it's really weird. They've got a really cross-promotional thing with the Zydeco. I don't know, Pokemon, they're really stretching. Alright, it's Pikachu and then Peekaboo. I don't know, like, who knows? So we got Pokemon. They have so many versions. And we've got Animal Crossing. I know that was a big one. I know that folks were like, I'm going to go get me a unicorn today. And I was like, you can't get a unicorn. Unicorns are not... No, you have to leave the unicorns alone. Or else, like, legend will happen. And then Tim Curry will show up and with his big black horns and will try and, like, kill the... No, you have to protect the... Quit trying to collect unicorns. Magic the Gathering, that was a card game. We're good. We'll get into card games later. I'll nerd the hell out. I will. That game started in 93. I got into it at 94. I got out. Listen to me. Yeah, I got out actually around 2010. 2012-ish. I don't know. When I stole cards for gas, that's kind of when I stopped really giving a crap. I think that's when my adult life really kicked in. And that's unfortunate that it happened when I was in my 30s. Spent a long time playing that damn game. Alright, Animal Crossing. So we got Pokemon, never played it. Animal Crossing, never played it. And Big Game Hunter. We happen to have Big Game Hunter. We've got it here. There's like 3 versions of it on this one here. It's really cool. I convinced Dad to Pops to get it, and he is a whiz at it. So Herbie, love you, my guy. Strong work, my friend. Already keeping us going. Keeping it. Always look on the bright side of life. We'll do that song. We'll do that. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do the song later. Alright, Waz, we got you. I got you. I suckered Waz in with Black Sabbath, and now he's like, I have to watch for the entire rest of the show. So, that's how I know my fan base. I know my audience. Alright, so we've got Big Game Hunter, big bar game. You know, you get drunk, you go grab the, you can go golf, or you can go grab the gun. I don't know, don't do that. We're not getting political here. We're just playing video games. Big Game Hunter, Animal Crossing, if you want to go capture the unicorn and then bring on the end of the world. Again, not trying to get political, I'm just saying, just playing video games. Or we got Pokemon, which is the biggest source of confusion of card games. Because everyone's like, oh, you just play Pokemon. I'm like, no, I played Magic the Gathering. Alright? And then everyone's like, oh, you just, come on. So who is it? Pokemon, all of these games are so old, by the way. We got one game that's kind of new. One game that's kind of new. So who's the winner? We got Pokemon, Animal Crossing, or Big Game Hunter? Big Game Hunter? I kind of like Big Game Hunter because, like, we have it here. You know what I mean? Like, even, like, I think almost you kind of want to, like, defer to the winning, right? Like, Big Game Hunter, you can kill a giraffe. You can kill the giraffe. You don't capture the giraffe. You don't have to take care of the giraffe. All you do is, like, you just shoot the giraffe. And it's like, or a water buffalo, you want to go get one of those? Yeah, alright, let's go play the water buffalo level. Oh, looks like you can kill 4 of them. Alright, can you kill 4 of them in 30 seconds? Yes, I can. Boom! Let's get you to the giraffe level. You know, you're like, alright, cool. You're not trying to take care of it. You're not trying... Who hated Tamagotchis? I did. I had a Tamagotchi. Right? Big Game Hunter. So, we've got Street Fighter and Big Game Hunter going against each other. Don't pick yet. Don't pick yet. Don't pick yet. Don't pick yet. That's side 1. That's a heavy side. That's a hard side. That's a heavy side. We've got 2 more categories to go. And this is like top 3 of video games. Alright? This is all in honor of the Olympics because I watched 8 hours of surfing, which I've never done in my entire... I bodyboarded once and nearly died. That was fun. Good story. I'll tell it later. Not today, probably. Maybe later. It depends on if I'm dibble-dabbling. I don't know. We're not going to do that. Top 3 video game worlds now. We're on side 2. What do I mean by online worlds, and not including World of Warcraft or Star Wars online, which I don't think anybody that I know ever played Star Wars online before the new Star Wars, like the old Star Wars that had like the best market system ever. I tried to propose to my character tried to like ask out and marry this other like online character. And I had like my roommates at the time. Like I had them come into the same room, and I was like, just be there. I want this to be like, you know, like a proposal. And then like the other person playing the character was like, this is adorable, but I promised my boyfriend that I wouldn't marry any other character except for his. And I was like, I read that and I realized life is hard. You know? Life is a difficult system of ups and downs. You got peaks and you got valleys. Okay? And that was a valley. Alright? So I can't put the world of Star Wars in I can't, because I hope she does. I hope she's doing well. Okay, this stupid character. I hope she's doing. I think they took all the servers down. I think the game's overdone. All right, but whatever. One of my friends like yelled out "burn," and I was like, Kelso. Alright, so worlds. Top 3 worlds. We've got the Fallout universe. Fallout, and this isn't because of the show. I haven't seen any of the show. But I played a lot of Fallout. Who hasn't played a lot of Fallout? And maybe not even like Fallout like online. Because apparently I never got onto the online. All of these. I never got onto like the online, but I played the real games. And so like the Fallout worlds. I love Fallout. And that's way different than like the Borderland worlds, you know? Borderlands are fun, a little jerky version of Fallout. But so we got Fallout as a world, as like a thing, right? You're like, ooh, like you get lost in the apocalypse. You're like, what? How would I survive? Would you gear up with the Brotherhood and like, you know, become a tank? or would you try and become like one of the like ogres? Or I don't remember most of the things about Fallout. Would you try and be a? Would you like maybe be a vault citizen? Try and dominate one of your own vaults? Would you be a ghoul? I would be a ghoul. I think I'd become a ghoul. I would try and become a ghoul. And yeah, Fallout in for category 3 of video game worlds. Alright, so now we got Fallout 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Vegas, and then online, and then the TV show. Fallout, okay? It's a good category here. Red Dead Redemption. Oh, riding in hard on this category of worlds. Red Dead Redemption 1, Red Dead Redemption 2, my favorite video game of all time, actually, I'll be honest with you, is Red Dead Redemption 2. And then we've got the zombie variant of Red Dead Redemption, and then you've also got Red Dead Online, which is super popular, and you've got all the other variants of Red Dead that are going on. I loved Red Dead. Neverwinter, I should have put. Oh man, I kind of want to put. Ooh, I'm changing. So we've got Fallout, Red Dead Redemption, which includes my favorite game of all time. Like the story of the Red Dead Redemption 2. Like oh my god, I cried. I didn't know you could cry during a game. Like when you go into Mexico and like you do the whole Mexico thing, or what they have as Mexico, Santa, whatever it is, and you go down there and like the whole storyline, like I cried. I was like, that's dramatic and like that's huge and like what the hell? I'm not supposed to be, and then you got like you're trying to help the guy fly. And then, like, when the guy, when that happens, and it all resolves, and you're like, aw. You're like, what the? Aw, man. I cried. I was like, what? That game made me cry. So, but then, I was gonna do. So we got Red Dead Redemption, Fallout, and then I was gonna do. But we got a late strike from competition. Is the Final Fantasy worlds. Oh, I know, right? Heavy. Final Fantasy. But whoever said Neverwinter, Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter Nights, Oblivion, Skyrim, all of the Skyrim. We're putting Skyrim here. How did I not? Of course we're putting Skyrim here. So this might be the hardest category to pick, folks. We've got Dungeons and Dragons, the Skyrim universe, which includes Neverwinter Nights, and you've got the Oblivion. You've got all of that connected into it. Oh, heavy. I remember calling Skyrim my new girlfriend when I bought. Someone was at the Best Buy. They were like, "I hope you enjoy your new game." And I go, "It's not a game. It's my girlfriend." And she laughed. And I go, "But looks like you're not going to be my girlfriend either." But I said that to myself because you don't say that out loud to a girl very often. Do you? I don't know. So all right, here we go. We've got Skyrim. The whole universe of Skyrim. We've got Red Dead Redemption, which my favorite game of all time, RD2. And then we've got Fallout, which is a heavy good game. Heavy good universe. Most of it's kind of connected. So we got, what's our vote for the best of these three? Skyrim? Which one would, all of them? We're just saying all. Vegas, we got 3. We got 1, 2. Fallout 3. We got Fallout 4. We got Fallout Online. We got Fallout the TV show with Wayne Scroggins. Okay, so we got Skyrim. All right, so far it's Skyrim going heavy. All right, it is Skyrim. That's my girlfriend. I'm just saying, like you can't pick, right, Joe? It's a hard one, right? What's the best one? Red Dead Redemption? When you're in the game, it makes you like care about it, you know? Red Dead, we've got Fallout, we got people like really trying to, we've got Skyrim coming, like so far Skyrim's going heavy here. Good morning, Hip Kitty. So far, all right, this is a hard category. It's a difficult one. All right, this is a super. Zelda was a good one. The Zelda universe couldn't fit on here. Neither could the Final Fantasy universe. We could do like worlds of video games, like its own competition, right? So I'm gonna say Skyrim kind of wins. I'm gonna say that, but there are no losers with Red Dead and Fallout. That is for sure. Maybe Fallout kind of a loser. Maybe they went a little too corporate with the video game, with the TV show, and they made me like really Scroggins. Really, you're gonna ghoul it up a little bit? You know, you're the perfect guy to ghoul it up a little. But come on, Skyrim, like the whole universe of Skyrim, like Oblivion and such. Like I loved it. Like with the yelling, you know, like all right, yeah, all right, Skyrim. Final category. Worst video games ever. Top 3 worst video games ever. For me, and I'm not talking about E.T., and I'm not talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm not talking like E.T. where you kept falling down the hole because of the glitch in the game, and they never fixed it, and if you could get past that, like, nobody cared. I'm not talking about E.T. or Indiana Jones. I'm not talking about Atari. I'm talking about, like, worst game. Kung Fu is on the list. Kung Fu. I love Kung Fu. But it's not even like a pa-rappa-da-rappa, kick, turn, punch, punch. Like, it's not... Kung Fu was a horrible game. I could never beat Kung Fu. And these are games that I could probably... I mean, no, I beat one of these games. Kind of. I don't know. Yeah, no, I didn't. Anyhow. Kung Fu. And I, like, worst games ever for me, personally, obviously. Like, for you, it could be, maybe your worst game ever was Dr. Mario. And you're like, wait a minute, this isn't Tetris. This isn't Mario Brothers. This is like a combination of Tetris and Mario Brothers. It's pills? Medication? Are we forcing Big Pharma on the kids? Are we allowing it to be okay? Where is Dr. Mario today? Dr. Phil? Would you take medical advice from Dr. Mario? You know, open up, kids. Just turn the pill sideways and match it with the rest of your pills. So almost, Dr. Mario almost made it on the list is what I'm saying. Kung Fu. Mass Effect 4. Worst games ever. Mass Effect 4. Wow. What a horrible game that was. They remade Mass Effect, repackaged Mass Effect into Mass Effect 4, and made you think that it was a new game, all because your character's face could age a little bit while you were playing the game. Oh, you had a dynamic aging face, which they had already introduced in Mass Effect 3. They were like, well, if you get and Mass Effect 2. They're like, well, if we just put that on the Mass Effect 1 after you just beat 1, 2, and 3, which is probably the three most epic trilogy game. Like, and I was blown away by Mass Effect 3, like, and 2 and 1. Like, I had a lot of fun playing Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. I even went back and tried to get all the, like, hidden, whatever it is for Mass Effect 1. Tried to gold star the game. Couldn't quite get everything. But it was a lot of fun going through and, like, really trying to get the, one of the first few games that I tried to, like, gold star or platinum star, whatever it is that you would call getting all the good stuff. And then Mass Effect 4 came out, and I think once they had you shooting the drones out of the air for like the third time, and you're jumping up, and you're like, is this the same dialogue? I think it is. And it's just now you've got like bright blue skin because you can make yourself look blue, in the new game if you wanted to. You're like, oh, okay, I'm not a human anymore. I'm an avatar. You can make yourself dumb. So we got Kung Fu, Mass Effect 4, and Might and Magic. Seriously, this game is the worst game in the world. I've been playing this game for like a month now, and I'm going to tell you, Nerdy's not, I don't think Nerdy's here, so I can say this stuff out loud, okay? But like, what a horrible game. I'm done. I'm done playing the game. This game is like the weirdest tease in the world, okay? This game is like every girl I ever like went up to and say, hey, they're like, hey, and you're like, alright, cool, and then like you try and go say hey again, and they're like, nope. And you're like, oh man, or any guy, or anybody that you've ever been like, alright, you're cool, like, alright, we're cool, and then you go and you try and be cool again, and it's like, nope, we're not cool anymore. I hate this game. I hate this game because it tricks you into like thinking you're doing well at it, and it's one of those. It's like a gauntlet. It's like a gauntlet where like you're like, okay, cool, I don't need to save. No, I'm on my way. All I have to do is go rest, right? And then killer bees show up, and then attack your characters 20 times for 225 points of damage. Boom! There you go. You're dead. And there goes 2 hours of not saving your game because you have plenty of food. It's a horrible game. I'm still at level 6.5. Some are at 7, some are at... I'll get back into it. It's going to take a long time. This game is going to take forever. I didn't realize how long... It even says in the rule book, this is not an easy game. I downloaded the hint book, the secret book, because like I wanted to know what the bag of sand was doing. Like it was activating and doing something, but like I didn't know what it was doing. Turns out it's a sleep spell, which is kind of cool. So now I know that like I think the game wants you to win. I just suck at it. I've had a bag of sand for like 3 weeks. I have no idea what to do with. I looked it up, and it's like, yeah, it's a sleep spell. You should have been using, jerk. I'm like, ah, alright. So, worst games, Kung Fu, Mass Effect 4, or Might and Magic. Who wins? Who is the worst out of those three? Kung Fu, Mass Effect. Kung Fu is like it's so easy. You should be able to be good at it, but you're not at all. You're like, what's the random punch that just you're like, I can duck, I can jump, but I can't do. Might and Magic went number 1. Pre-internet, you had a subscription to GamePro. I had PC Gamer. And I also had PC Gamer. We got Kung Fu. The Wise is voting for Kung Fu. Nintendo Power is what I had. But I was into PC Gamer and Nintendo Power. Those are the ones that I was into. Joe D's with PC Gamer. You had Nintendo Power. You had Herbie, you had a subscription. I think everybody had a subscription to PC. I think PC Gamer was one of those magazines that came with like the Columbia the Columbia CD thing, where you could pick 10 CDs for like a nickel, and also a magazine subscription, and so they gave you like all the so you got like a bundle of stuff coming to you, and so you got all the CDs, and like you forgot that you had a subscription to PC Gamer, and so like you didn't realize that you. So now you're like, oh, okay, PC Gamer. Now you know all about like the specs on the the GE Force, video console, and everything, and you're like, all right, I know how to. You've got the Razer mouse now, and you got the ergonomic video, the keyboard and everything. You're like, oh, you didn't know how you were doing it, but you're also listening to the Shania Twain CD that you paid, like a penny for. You're listening to that Godzilla soundtrack, with the Wallflowers song that you kind of like, but you're like, do 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 do, right? You're like, you didn't pay for it, or you're listening to the Robin CD, with the hey there boy, with the Robot Boy song that you really like. Like you didn't know you were into Robin, but there you are. You're listening to your Columbia House CD collection while reading your PC Gamer magazines. I think Might and Magic and Kung Fu are in the lead. What wins out of Might and Magic and Kung Fu? A little bit, Mike Barabo. A little bit. Losing myself in time. Let's see. Might and Magic or Kung Fu? Might and Magic or Kung Fu? What's the worst game? Remember, we got round 2, and then we got the finals to come up here. Never played any of them. It's alright, guys. If you haven't played any of these, don't worry. You don't want to. It's why these are the worst games ever. Alright, and they're also older games, too. I apologize for playing older games. Alright, so I know that we're, a lot of... I never... Crash Bandicoot was a lot of fun. I'm showing my age here. I'm showing, like... so what's my beard? What else am I gonna... I'm talking about video games. I'm not talking about experience. What do you want? You want the new Final Fantasy VII, where you have to pay for the first half of the game, and then, like, you have to pay for the second half? Come on. You're not suckering me into that. I'm a Gen X gamer. No, I was raised on video games. Like, Gauntlet, my mom and I... Like, that's how we got to know each other, was playing Gauntlet. You know what I'm saying? So, let's just say Kung Fu is the worst one. Because... just to keep Nintendo into the game, into this, in on it here. So we've got round 2. Street Fighter versus Big Game Hunter. This is where you guys pick. I'm not picking any of these things. I'm not fighting or voting. I'm not shooting it. I'm not targeting anything. I'm not... I'm trying to puns for fighting and shooting. I don't know. You pick. Who's the winner? Street Fighter or Big Game Hunter? Your favorite. If you've never played any of them, sorry. Go to a nickel arcade. You got it. So we got Street Fighter for number 1. Street Fighter is worse. Waz, are you picking Big Game Hunter then? Is that how you pick Big Game Hunter, by not picking Big Game Hunter, where you're like, Street Fighter's worse? Like, I know that, like, you won in Mortal Kombat. I know, you can't, this is how it happens, though. You gotta root for the guy, Like, if Ishinaga from Japan loses in the next, round, like, I can't be like, oh, man, for worst, Big Game Hunter. No, you gotta pick the one you want. You can't pick the one you don't want. Come on, guys. I understand that, like, these aren't the best. These are my favorites. These are out of the fit. Or I guess ones I could come up with. Man, making me feel bad about Street. You know what? Spitefully, I'm picking Street Fighter. Okay? No, you know what? I saw Big Game Hunter, and that popped up just before I picked Street Fighter, because I'm letting you know that Street Fighter wins, okay? The Chun-Li kick. Look at that. Man, I gotta go out. I gotta be outside more. I gotta tan up. That is some white. These finals are gonna be weird. Alright, and then we've got round 2, the second. We've got Skyrim, which came in, took care of what could have been Zelda and could have been Final Fantasy, but also could have been Fallout or Red Dead Redemption. Skyrim, riding hard, or, and this is all you, which one do we go with? Kung Fu. Skyrim or Kung Fu. It's on you guys, this one. I don't know, which one goes? Which one goes? Which one wins? Who wins? Kung Fu. You got your kicks, you got your jumps, you got your punches, and you got your different levels. You got your black belts and you got your throwing stars. Well, hello there, Michael Patterson, by the way. Dubsoft says Skyrim. Skyrim, you got your yells, you got your 4 different. Are you going to be a wizard? Are you going to be a yeller? Are you going to be Skyrim Shine? Says Skyrim. All right, Shine. The Waz says Kung Fu. I get it. The Waz Kung Fu riding in. No. I don't know. It's just nobody seems to die. It's almost like Contra, but worse. Contra was one of the best Nintendo games ever. Skyrim from Joe D's. Skyrim, I think, is riding high. I think we're riding Skyrim all the way. Mike Barabell says Kung Fu. Coming in hard, Mike. Almost, Mike. But I think we're going to go with Skyrim. Which leads us to the Grand Championship of favorite video games of mine that aren't the ones that I probably like a little bit better. I don't know. We have Street Fighter Hadouken versus Skyrim. Street Fighter. There was a movie made. Nobody remembers the movie. Nobody, do you? With Jean-Claude Van Damme, M. Bison, with Raul, oh man, with and you got Barack, Do you remember the movie? You're thinking Double Dragon. Don't think of that movie. Don't think of Double Dragon, the movie. That was a horrible. Don't think of Mario Brothers, the movie. I'm saying Street Fighter. And it's not Mortal Kombat Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage wasn't in. It's like the Someone said it was the NIT of video games. It's absolutely the NIT of video games. This is these are the also-rans. I am in honor of the French, where some of the French, because they were really into I think the joke was that the French were always 20 years behind. So I'm doing a video game 20 years behind video game. At least I'm claiming that in order to in honor of the French for the Paris Olympics. Oh, that's funny. Or do we have Skyrim in all of its glory and its entire universe with Oblivion and such. So, do we have Street Fighter 1, 2? You got Super Street Fighter. You got Magnificent Street Fighter. You got Street Fighter Gold. You got Street Fighter on arms only. You got Street Fighter or you got or you have Skyrim, which basically like you had a relationship with Skyrim, like you knew like you built when Skyrim let you build a house, you immediately built a house. You stopped playing the game, and you built your house. You know you did, and you were even disappointed that it wasn't like as optional as you thought it would be. You're like, maybe I want to move things around a little bit. And the game's like, oh, we're going to let you move some stuff around. But no, you can't move everything around, you weirdos. Like, Shine says, did I say Skyrim? I think Skyrim kind of wins. I think Skyrim wins. We got Duck Sauce Skyrim. Street Fighter coming in hard. I even showed leg for Street Fighter. Chun-Li, probably my favorite lady video game character with the big Chun-Li kick, and like Hadouken, or like with the Berserker Claw. That's Wolverine. I still have Marvel vs. Capcom nightmares going on in my head. The guy coming in. It's like a challenger. Like, oh man, I was right there. And you picked Skyrim wins. That's how we end our show. Me reliving a video game nightmare. Someone put their quarter on, right in front of you to let you know that you are gonna lose and I'm going to take the game from you. Oh man. So I feel like someone just put their quarter in front of me. So love you guys. I hope you guys had a great show. I hope you guys enjoyed all of that video game from back in the 90s and 2000s, some in the 80s, I think. I don't know. But that's what we do in honor of the Olympics, is we represent video games instead. So, love you guys. Show back up tomorrow, and Pops will be here. So, Mark Samron says, don't go, I need a little bit more. Okay, Mark. Let's just do it. This is for Mark. What are we, 12 minutes past the hour? 13 minutes past the hour? We can do a little bit more. Let's just do a short section of the book. Let's talk about the book real quick. Do we want to do a different book? Or do we want to see it all the way through? Do we want to do a different book, or do we want to see it all the way through? We can do one short section. We got two short sections. No, we got one short section left. Stay on the book, Joe D says. This book is the philosophy book, Big Ideas Simply Explained. We've been going through it, Joe, right? We've been going through it. Derek, we're not quitting, right? No quitter? Stay on the book? Keep going with the book? Alright, I'm just making sure. Michael Patterson says continue on with the book, because we got big philosophies coming up. Big ideas coming up. Alright, I'm just making sure. Alright. About no subject is there less philosophizing than about philosophy. In honor of this, I gotta do this off screen, but if you want to join me, let's do that real quick, and I get it. Alright, don't worry, Herbie, it'll be off screen. 1 second. You know what I'm talking about. I love you guys. Let's just get this. About no subject is there less philosophizing than about philosophy. Are we going to get the facts and nothing but the facts? Finally? Friedrich Schlegel. The German historian and poet Friedrich Schlegel, I think I'm saying that correctly. If I'm not, shlew me. The German historian and poet Friedrich Schlegel is generally credited with introducing the use of aphorisms, short, ambiguous sayings, into later modern philosophy. In 1798, he observed that there was little philosophizing about philosophy, meta-philosophy, implying that we should question both how Western philosophy functions and its assumption that a linear type of argument is the best approach. Schlegel disagrees with the approaches of Aristotle and René Descartes, saying they are wrong to assume that there are solid first principles that can form a starting point. Okay. He also thinks that it is not possible to reach any final answers because every conclusion of an argument can be endlessly perfected. This is like the Zeno's paradox, where if you cut something in half, do you have something cut in half, or do you have two things that can now also continue to be cut in half? You know, like, is it one thing in half, or do you have two things with new halves? In which case, like, how far down until you can't have any H-A-L-V-E-E. Echo the Dolphin was a great video game too. Describing his own approach, Schlegel says philosophy must always start in the middle. It is a whole. W-H-O-L-E, whole. And the path to recognizing it is no straight line, but a circle. Schlegel's holistic view, like all-encompassing, like everything is everything kind of thing. Holistic view, seeing philosophy. I love how the book explains it, and I explain it, and the book's like explaining it, and then I read the book's explanation, and it's almost better than mine, because it's like, why don't you just keep reading the book, idiot? I'm like, alright. Schlegel's holistic view, seeing philosophy as a whole, fits within the broader context of his romantic theories about art and life. These value individual human emotion above rational thought, in contrast to most Enlightenment thinking. What does it mean to you? While his charge against earlier philosophy was not necessarily correct, his contemporary, George Hegel, took up the cause for reflexivity, or the modern name for applying philosophical methods to the subject of philosophy itself. How do we know the why do we do? So I guess that's Schlegel. How do we know the why do we do? Wow, that's a big one. How do we know the why do we do? And then Hegel's coming up next. Reality is a historical process. We'll get into that later. Boy, it's been a hell of a show, folks. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, spending your mornings with me, starting your week off, getting your brains focused in on the good stuff, having some fun, joking around, making fun of like popular stuff, thinking about like stuff you hadn't really thought about in a long time. Kung Fu, the game, really? I don't even play the game. Like I can play it. I think I can play it on the Retron here. And I don't. I don't want to. I don't want to get into it. Thank you, Catzilla, for being here. Thank you, Shine. Oh, you're the best. Hip Kitty, you're the good stuff. So. All when I like casually. Sponsored by Mountain Dew, flavored Mountain Dew. You know. Herbie, I love you, my guy. Thank you for putting in the work. I see the work you've been putting in today. Thank you. Everybody should give Herbie a little bit of a thank. I don't know, maybe hey, thank you, Herbie, for the work you've been putting in, and what you're doing. I appreciate that. Thank you to those that are fans of the book. It really is like I want to finish the book. I'm just making sure that like we're all in on it, you know. So it isn't some albatross that I'm dragging, you know, hanging from my neck or something like that. Because I think we almost finished that Alan Watts book, but we kind of gave in to the epistemology of like Buddhism and Western Buddhism, because it's just kind of like look at the moon, but not because I told you to look at the moon, but just like what else are you gonna do instead? Like just look at the moon, you know. And that's a great. I kind of want to tell that story, like later. Yeah, it's one of my favorite stories. Is like the moon story in the Alan Watts book. So if I can find that book, it's somewhere. I put it away. But like, you know, we could probably do that again. So, but yeah, we'll finish the book. We'll learn. We are gonna learn. And then after that, I don't know. Who knows? We might get into the political book, and we'll learn about different politics. I don't know. I don't want to get into like danger zones, you know. So we might read maybe 50 Shades of Grey. We might get into. I might do that, you know, but in like the Scottish voice. You know, I feel like that's the only way that I'll be able to read, like, you know, 50 Shades is like, and then he pulled up in his car, and it was a shiny car. I think it was a Mercedes XL GT, and he stepped out, and his crocodile boots made me think, oh, I'm a naughty girl. Like, what the fuck? I don't want to read that. You know, unless I'm reading it, like, if I have to read naughty, if I have to, like, honestly, I can only say it in a, if I've got to read someone calling themselves a naughty girl, I'm going to be reading it in a Scottish, okay? It's going to Scottish, and be like, oh, naughty girl. Yeah, I can't say it in an English, I can't say it in my real voice either, because I don't want you to know, like, what the actual, like, inflections are. You know, I'm not even going to go a little Afrikaner. You know, inflections. That's Afrikaner. You know, let's see it the African. You know, I can't. I think we should read some 50 Shades of Grey in South African Scottish. You know, a little Alpha, a Scotch canner. Scotch canner? Am I drinking scotch now? What's in this? Alright, everybody. Laura, I love you. Let's do it. Let's do the Laura. What's the Laura, everyone? Alright, so from the left, you bring in the left arm, right? And so I learned this while watching surfing. Apparently they do this in surf. I don't know. They do this like when one surfer, like they did this a lot yesterday. Like one beat the other surfer, and then they did this thing. All right, and we call it the Lord. They did this thing, and it's a show of sportsmanship. They it's a kind of like an embrace, like an embracing thing. I don't know. They did this. I'm gonna explain it to you, and then we can all do it, and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, all right, cool. Right. So what they did is they took their left arm and they brought it in over the shoulder, or sometimes just around the other competitor, winner or loser, right? They brought the left arm in, and then they brought in, hold on, they brought 1 second, they brought in their other arm, and I thought they were going to get into a fight. I was like, no, it's fencing. They've got, like, I watched épée, I watched saber, I watched hours of fencing. I can fence. I think they've got their arm right there. I have my arm right here naturally. So I'm like, you don't have to train me to do that. Natural. Alright? And then they've got the other arm, and I don't know, like, a little goofy. Maybe if you give me, like, a longer épée or whatever the hell that saber thing, like if I didn't have to, like, reach out, but the way they move, I can duck and dodge. Like, they've got some Matrix moves, and then they've got the repart. I can't do the repartee thing, though. Like, they reach over and they with the thing, and they try and, I don't know, but I watched a lot of fencing. So they did this, at the end, so they reached over with their left arm, and then they reached with their right, and I was like, oh man, they won, just let them win. And they're both crying, and they're like, oh, I love you, and I was like, love? What's love got to do with it? And so then the other arm comes around, and they embrace. And I was like, what are they embracing for? And then I can see like in their eye a little bit, where they're like, oh, oh, like, and even in the surfing, like they did this. They hugged. They gave each other a hug. And then what was funny is, like, instead of a gold medal, some of these people, instead of a silver, instead of even a bronze medal, they got a hug. And you know what's funny about having a hug? Is you can give that hug away. If I have a gold medal and I give my gold medal away, I don't have a gold medal anymore. If I have a silver medal or a bronze medal, it's hanging around my neck, hung there by someone because of my activities in defeating another person or a team, and therefore we're going to glorify and we're going to objectify, we're going to point out differences. I'm kidding, but they also give you like they also, even when they give you the medal, they give you a hug, because they realize that, like, with the hug, like, if you give a hug, you can get a hug. Wait, yeah, and if you get a hug, you can give a hug back, right? But the silver medal, that gold medal, whatever medal it is that's around your neck, it stays around your neck. And that the person that you gave a hug to now has a hug, and they're walking away. They don't have your gold medal. They don't have your silver. They definitely don't have your bronze. You worked their ass off for that bronze. I watched a lot of fencers win a really good bronze. Okay? I watched the 4th place person walk away without a bronze medal. But they walked away with a hug. And you know what they did? They took that hug and they gave it to their coach. And their coach gave them a hug back. And then their coach went up and they gave another hug to the competitor and was like, thanks for beating my guy or gal. I watched a plague of hugs. Sometimes you just wish you were patient zero in a plague of hugs, right? What? Because like it's infectious, right? You give a hug, you get a hug, and if you get a hug, you give a hug, and it's like a plague. Don't you just wish? Love you guys.